Today's video is going to be going over this 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. We're going to be running some factory ammo through it. We've got quite a bit of factory ammo. We got Berger, Federal, Hornady, and Sierra. It's all match ammo. Well, it's hunting ammo, but it's high quality ammo. So hopefully we'll get some really good groups out of this thing. This is a full custom rifle. It's got a Manners stock on it. I believe a Bartlein 1-in-8 carbon fiber barrel, a rugged suppressor with their flash or their muzzle brake actually, an MDT Skypod, a Leupold Mark 5 with PR2 mil reticle. I'm actually not sure what scope mount this is. I'll put all that stuff in the description for those of you that are interested in that kind of stuff. I'll have it all written out beneath. And it's also a Terminus Zues action and a short action. So all this ammo is ammo that I bought at a local store. It's a variety of different grain weights. Most of it's between 130 and 140-ish. So pretty well in the same ballpark, not anything too crazy. We're not planning on shooting varmint loads out of this gun, but we're just gonna shoot some 3-round groups at roughly 100 yards, try to get an idea of what generally this gun wants to shoot as far as bullets are concerned, and then we'll start hand loading for it and see how fine-tuned we can get it. But we're gonna go ahead and start here on the top left diamond on this target. Hopefully everything will be right where it needs to be, and then we'll start working our way across and down on the target. We're pretty well dead on as far as point of impact is concerned. That's good. I'm not measuring velocities today because it's all factory ammo and I can't change it, so we're just gonna shoot for groups here. I may have pulled that last one, but I felt pretty good. I kind of slapped the trigger on it a little bit though, I think. Either way, that was a pretty large spread on that. So 130 was looking good in the beginning. I guess I totally forgot to tell you what grain we were shooting. Sorry. That was a Berger 130 grain hybrid OTM Tactical bullet loaded by Berger using the Leupold brass and probably Vitivory powder, and that's all just speculation. We don't really know that, but that was the first group. We're going to be working through all of the Berger ammo first, going from the lightest grain weight to the heaviest. It's not as cool out here as I thought it was going to be today, so we might have to give this thing a little bit more time between groups to cool off. I don't usually give it that much time just because I don't have that much time to give. We have to work through a lot of videos in one day usually just because of lack of just time constraints. So we'll try to do as good as we can, but ultimately just know that I am going to be, for the most part, shooting this gun maybe not hot, but definitely at least warm. And with the can on it, you know, it doesn't necessarily help with heat retention. So anyway, we're gonna probably be shooting this gun kind of warm as we go through this test, but so is the person that's going to be shooting it the most. So ideally it will shoot well when it's warm, but we're gonna go ahead and move on. So it's enough rattling from me. But next up we got Berger 6.5 Creedmoor 135 grain classic hunter bullets, which again, we're gonna be going through 5 different loads with Berger, and then 3 different loads with Federal, 1 load of Hornady, and 1 load of Sierra. This ammo is expensive, so we are shooting 3-round groups because I cannot afford to shoot more. So, and I would like to stretch this ammo out across a lot of videos. So we're being kind of conservative here, but also barrel heat is a legitimate concern. But next up, we are going to be going for the top of the center diamond. We're gonna put 3 more on paper with that 135 Berger Classic Hunter. Well, felt good on all those shots. Definitely a little bit better group than that first one that we shot, but still nothing that we're gonna go home and brag about. But nonetheless, it was an improvement. I'm gonna go get the barrel cooler and stick it in here for a little bit, try to just force this thing to cool off a little faster, and then we'll move on to the 140 grain Berger Elite Hunters. All right, next up we have the 140 Berger Elite Hunter bullets, and we're gonna be going for the top right diamond. I am struggling with Mirage right now, even though there's a kind of a homemade suppressor cover on this thing. It's kind of wishy-washy down there, so we ran the barrel cooler for a while, and hopefully that'll help us a little bit, but it still looks a little foggy down there. Honestly, so far nothing's really shot good. This gun may need cleaned, because I know it was shot quite a bit before it got into my hands, but these groups kind of suck. That second one wasn't bad, but the other two really not very good. So the next one we're going to be shooting is Berger 153.5 grain 6.5 Creedmoor. This is their long-range hybrid target bullets. All right, next up's that 153.5 grain long-range hybrid target. I think it's kind of a bird dog to get in here. We are going for the left side of the center diamond here. Point of impact is moving around quite a bit. Well, that's by far one of the best groups we've shot. I don't know if I would pick that bullet had I had a choice, but it definitely shot a lot more like those 130s did. So basically I think that was right. Did I say that right? No, the 135s. So the first group sucked, second group wasn't too bad, third group sucked, and the fourth group was actually not bad. So as far as factory ammo goes, even in a custom rifle, I'd still like to see a little better than that, because this is really, really high quality ammo, obviously. But barrels like what they like, and you cannot choose that. It's going to tell you what it wants to shoot. I do struggle a little bit with shooting through Mirage, so that's part of the problem. And I also do tend to shoot these guns kind of warm, so I don't give them enough time to get fully back to cold bore before I start shooting again. I know that's not preferred for most people, but I only have so much time. So I'm not trying to make excuses, I'm just being transparent with you guys. I'm not giving this thing 30 minutes to cool off and shooting again. So some of the group dispersions we see on this channel in its entirety are probably because of barrel heat. I don't want to say that that's the sole contributing factor, because sometimes it's really not that big of a deal, but there are times where it does matter, and I'm not trying to downplay that. So that bullet so far, I think that one in the 135 Classic Hunter were the two that shot good. Those two right now are kind of the ones on the table for a competitor to be loaded in this gun, hand loaded rather, and to do future testing. So the next one and the last Berger load that we have is the 156 grain Extreme Outer Limits. They abbreviate it to EOL, Elite Hunter. So that one's going to go in the center, dead center in the middle of this target, and then we're done with Berger, and we're probably going to move on to some of the Federal stuff, and then we'll shoot the Sierra and the Hornady ammo and be done. Alright, last Berger load, 156 grain EOL, right in the middle of the target. Well, not only was that group garbage, but we got a pretty massive pressure sign on that last round, and I'm not blaming the ammo. I think the gun's just getting kind of hot, so we're going to let it cool off much longer now, and we're going to move on to the Federal ammo next. But that group sucked. I don't know that we didn't get pressure signs on every one of those, but that last one, you could feel it. So we're going to go ahead and give this guy a while to cool off, and then we'll come back and keep shooting. All right. Next up, we have the 130 grain Federal Premium Gold Medal Match. It's using a Berger open tip match bullet, so same as actually the first group that we shot. That same bullet, but these are loaded by a Federal rather than Berger. Now, I'm going to keep an eye on the pressure signs, because it might be due to a lack of cleaning on a high round count. I'm not sure, but that's not really something that we can control, especially while we're out here, because I do not have cleaning stuff, and I certainly don't have the time to clean this thing. But we will be going for the right side of the center diamond, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this without anything super weird going on. But I gave it a little bit longer to cool off, so we'll see if that helps, and we'll just keep an eye on it. All right, right side of the center diamond here. Whoa. Well, I didn't feel pressure that time at least. But that point of impact was like way different. Seemed to be grouping better though. Well, it was. Those didn't give me any signs of pressure, but the group started off good and then it just got really bad. The next thing we're going to be shooting is some more Federal. We got 3 loads of Federal, but the next Federal load we're going to be using is their gold medal, their Federal Premium Gold Medal Match Sierra Matchking. Instead of a Berger bullet, they're loading a Sierra bullet this time in a 140 grain. So we're going to move on to those next. These do have small rifle primers rather than large, so you may see some differences as a result of that, but ultimately, if you're not hand loading, it doesn't really matter all that much. But well, it matters to some people, but you're not gonna have to worry about changing your priming system when you go to reload these, because you don't reload. So we're gonna be shooting these next 3 rounds on the bottom left diamond. I'm questioning whether or not we should just go ahead and shoot at that right side of the center diamond again, because the point of impact has moved so much. We're not even hitting close to where we're aiming anymore. And at some point, these are just gonna be off paper. But we'll let the barrel cool off a little bit. We'll rethink it. I'll just shoot the next group where we originally planned on it, and then if anything weird happens, we'll move it as needed. Next up is the Federal Gold Medal Match Sierra Matchking in a 140 grain. Going for the bottom left diamond. Hopefully it will still be on the paper. Golly, these things are still hitting super low. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. Alright, so that actually shot really good. We might have to give that bullet a pretty hard look, because that definitely impressed compared to some of those Berger groups. I think that's the best group we got on paper. I don't know, some of those other ones might actually be pretty close. That second Berger group and that 4th one probably aren't much bigger than that, but that one just kind of looked better. But either way, we're looking at a 135 grain bullet, a 153.5 grain bullet, and a 140 grain bullet. So the grain weight is not consistent at all. It's kind of all over the place. But we've definitely got some usable groups out of this thing. I know I'm kind of being picky. It's factory ammo. I need to quit complaining so much, but when you're shooting a full custom rifle, you just kind of expect things to be easier. So I get that. I am kind of judging hard on some things, but when you see an 1.5 inch group on a full custom rifle with just about anything, it just kind of makes you a little nauseated. So anyway, I don't even know why I'm complaining. This isn't even my gun. But the point is, we're gonna move on to a different load, whichever one this is. So the next one is going to be more Federal Premium. This is the last Federal load that we're gonna shoot out of this gun, but it's Federal Premium 6.5 Creed Gold Medal Match 140 grain Berger hybrid target. So I don't think we shot that particular bullet with the Berger ammo earlier, because I couldn't get that at my local store. It was not available at the time, so we did not buy that. But we're gonna shoot these, and then we basically have 2 more loads to shoot after this with Sierra and Hornady ammo. I'm gonna move the point of impact on this thing. We're probably gonna shoot for the right side of the center diamond again, because these are just hitting so low. It's gonna get a little complicated here at the end. I may just move the point of impact on the last group. I'm gonna let it cool off again. We'll talk about it. All right, we're gonna go for the bottom of the center diamond. I'm not gonna move the point of impact, because if I move it up, it's probably gonna run into this other group that's up there. I'll move it up like a few clicks, but I'm not gonna move it up like a full mil, because if I move it up a full mil, we're probably not gonna be able to see the 2 different groups very distinctively. So that 140 grain Berger Gold Medal Match going on the bottom of the center diamond here. wow. I thought we were about to have a really good group, honestly, and then it just kind of fell apart. I felt good on that last shot too, so I don't know. Some of these just ain't shooting. So for those of you guys that don't want me to shoot 3-round groups, you want me to shoot 5, 10, 20-round groups, I get it, but here's the deal. When I shoot 3 rounds on a box of ammo like this, that again, not exactly cheap, and it shoots like that, there's really no point in shooting 5 because it's not worth it. Like if it shoots a ragged hole and you have that continued curiosity of, will it continue to shoot a ragged hole or was that a fluke? Like that makes a little more sense. Like sometimes you can validate something that it was like a one-time miracle, right? But when it shoots like that, the group's not going to get smaller. It's only going to get bigger. So that kind of just solidifies to me that like it ain't worth continuing to go down this road because it's not necessarily going good right out of the gate. But we're gonna shoot 2 more groups here. We got 143 Hornady and 140 Sierras. The 140 Sierra might actually do pretty good after seeing that group from earlier, so very curious about that. But I gotta change some camera batteries here. You guys are about to die. Gonna cool off the gun and then we'll move on. Okay, second to last group here with the Sierra loaded 140 grain Sierra Matchking ammo. I actually felt a lot of movement on that shot, so I may have yanked that one just a little bit. Not even necessarily that I yanked the trigger, I just didn't feel very settled into the bags. Could have been better. So, last up is gonna be our Hornady 143 grain ELDX Precision Hunter ammo. Okay, just so we actually have somewhere clear to shoot at, since the point of impact is kind of back where we need it to be, we're gonna go for the right side of the center diamond here. And we got the Hornady Precision Hunter 143 grain ELDX. Well, that didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, but we're gonna keep going. Okay, so that last group wasn't any good either. Now, full disclosure, that last group was on a hot barrel. So that thing was not cooled off. I had a ton of Mirage, and you could tell the barrel was just kind of steamy. So, in conclusion, this was not exactly the best target that we shot in a long time. However, we did get a little bit of useful data. I have some bullet choices that I think will be good options to pursue going forward. I think that 140 grain Sierra bullet will be a good option because there was 2 groups. One was okay, and the other one shot really good. There was that 135 grain Berger, and then that 153.5, which the 153.5 is a little heavier than I typically shoot in this cartridge, so probably not going to go that route, but if that's what it wants to shoot, that's what we'll shoot. But as far as this gun's concerned, it will be on the channel again, but the next time we shoot it, we will likely be hand loading it and probably pursuing the 140 Sierra Matchking if I had to guess, but we'll see what happens with further testing. So thank you guys for watching. As always, appreciate the support. Please do me a favor and vote in the polls, leave comments and all that good stuff. But until next time, y'all stay risen, glorify God in all that you do, and we will see you in the next video.